The Galactic Assembly convened in the Grand Chamber, a sprawling structure of crystalline arches and pulsating lights representing the collective knowledge of thousands of civilizations. The Assembly, composed of the galaxy's most advanced species, had gathered to discuss an anomaly that defied their understanding, a signal from an ancient artifact unearthed on the desolate moon of Daraxis IV. The artifact was unremarkable at first glance, a worn, metallic obelisk half buried in gray dust. Yet when disturbed, it had sent a signal resonating across hyperspace. This transmission, analyzed by the Assembly's most advanced AI, contained patterns resembling a language, though none of the species present could identify it. The most sophisticated xenolinguists worked tirelessly, but their efforts only led to dead ends. Frustration filled the chamber as delegates speculated wildly. "It must belong to the primordials," one insectoid representative declared, their mandibles clicking nervously. "Their ruins have left traces across the galaxy." "No," countered a luminescent being from the Cyrelian cluster. "The energy signature predates even the oldest primordial structures. This artifact is something far older." Despite the debates, a single unassuming fact eventually brought the Assembly's pride to a standstill. The symbols on the artifact bore an eerie resemblance to Earth's early human scripts. The connection was initially dismissed as absurd. Humans, after all, were barely a Type 1 civilization. They had only recently ventured into interstellar travel and were considered insignificant. But repeated analyses confirmed it. The markings matched pre-Iron Age human languages. Reluctantly, the Assembly authorized a human team to study the artifact. A delegation from Earth, comprising historians, linguists, and archaeologists, arrived under heavy alien supervision. The humans, though honored by the invitation, sensed the condescension in every alien interaction. They were treated as little more than children fumbling with ancient toys. Dr. Elena Voss, the lead human linguist, approached the artifact cautiously. Her team worked in silence, aware of the skeptical eyes observing their every move. Within days, however, the humans began making progress where alien experts had failed. "These symbols," Elena explained to the Assembly in a tense briefing, "aren't just a language, they're an amalgamation of ancient Earth dialects. Proto-Sumerian, Old Norse, and even fragments of forgotten Native American scripts." Her voice wavered, not from uncertainty, but from awe. "This artifact speaks to our history. Whoever created it, they knew about Earth. They knew us." The aliens were skeptical at first, dismissing the possibility of a deeper connection. "A coincidence," scoffed a reptilian delegate. "Humans are not significant enough to warrant such attention." Yet the evidence mounted. The artifact contained detailed star charts, some of which pointed to regions of space uncharted even by the Assembly. Oddly, several locations on the maps coincided with Earth's myths, constellations referenced in human folklore, the supposed homes of gods and heroes. Each new discovery only deepened the mystery. Privately, whispers spread among the Assembly delegates. Why did a species as young as humanity hold the key to understanding this artifact? How could such a primitive race be tied to an object that predated even their oldest known civilizations? And why, as the signal pulsed through the cosmos, did the Assembly's most ancient species feel a creeping unease, as though something immense had just stirred from slumber? The unease that had been building within the Galactic Assembly quickly turned into full-scale panic when the true threat emerged. A race long thought extinct, the Scar, a predatory species whose brutality was the stuff of galactic legend, had returned, awakening from their long slumber deep in the galactic core. Their ships, massive and black as void itself, tore through the Assembly's outer colonies, leaving destruction in their wake. The Scar were ruthless, technologically superior, and relentless in their pursuit of annihilation. No one had expected them to resurface, least of all the Assembly, which had grown complacent in its dominance. The Assembly scrambled to respond. The alien species that made up its ranks had become accustomed to effortless victories over any external threats. But the Scar were different. Their bioweapons ravaged entire fleets, Their mind control techniques rendered the most sophisticated defenses useless, and their relentless assault left entire star systems vulnerable. The Assembly's high command convened, but it quickly became clear that their current military might was insufficient to combat the Scar's ferocity. In the midst of the chaos, a lone human voice cut through the panic. Elena Voss, speaking to the Assembly in a quiet but firm tone, offered a proposal. "We know more than you realize. The artifact contains strategies, battle tactics, and technologies that once helped humanity survive even greater threats. You need us." The alien leaders were initially dismissive, their pride bruised by the suggestion that a primitive species might hold the key to their survival. But desperation forced them to reconsider. The Scar were unlike any threat the Assembly had faced before, and the usual methods of warfare had failed to yield results. The humans, with their unorthodox thinking and adaptability, might just be the wild card the Assembly needed. Reluctantly, the Assembly put Elena and her team in charge of a unified defense strategy. The first action they took was to set a trap. Utilizing a technique buried within the artifact's data, an ancient method of feigned retreat, they lured the Scar into a sector known for its spatial anomalies. The plan was simple: deceive the Scar into believing they had an easy victory, only to spring a counterattack when they least expected it. As the Scar fleet entered the sector, the trap was sprung. Humanity's combined forces, utilizing strategies from the artifact, ambushed the Scar with devastating precision. The Scar, unaccustomed to such coordinated resistance, were caught off guard. The battle was brutal, but humanity's ability to adapt to the unexpected proved to be their greatest strength. Human forces, despite lacking the advanced technology of the Assembly, fought with unparalleled ferocity and cunning. Their ships, once considered crude, now danced around the Scar's massive war vessels with an agility that confounded the enemy. But the real surprise came when humanity's ancient warships, long thought dormant beneath Earth's surface, were activated. These ships, older than any known technology in the galaxy, were powered by a fusion of forgotten human science and lost alien technologies. When the Scar encountered these relics of humanity's past, they realized too late that their assumptions about the human race were horribly wrong. The warships engaged with brutal efficiency, deploying weapons that no other species had ever seen before. The Scar, accustomed to dominating any foe they encountered, found themselves outmatched in ways they couldn't comprehend. And despite their overwhelming numbers, the Scar were slowly pushed back. Their fear was palpable as they realized that they were facing not just a species of survivors, but one with an untapped reservoir of power and intelligence. The humans, though vastly outnumbered, fought with a mix of strategies gleaned from their ancestors and innovations born of their time. As the battle raged, it became clear that the Scar had underestimated humanity in the most fatal way possible. In their desperation to escape, they triggered a series of chaotic, self-destructive maneuvers. But it was too late. The humans, once thought insignificant, had proven their worth as not just survivors, but as guardians capable of defending their place in the galaxy. The victory came at a high cost. The Scar were repelled, but not without significant losses. Entire human fleets had been decimated, and many alien ships lay in ruins. However, the balance of power in the galaxy had shifted irrevocably. The once dismissed human race had emerged not only as an unexpected force to be reckoned with, but as the key to the galaxy's survival. As the battle ended, a grim realization settled over the Assembly. Humanity was not just a relic of a forgotten time. They were the original elder species, and their return signaled a new era for the galaxy. The Assembly would have to decide how to deal with this new power, one that was both a blessing and a challenge to their established dominance.